his 30s and we fight, they say he's washed up. So I'm 2 years older than Pacquiao. So when I fight Pacquiao, he said, you didn't fight him at the right time. Well, last time I checked, if 300 million ain't the right time, then tell me when it is the right time.
Facts.
Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao have reignited their rivalry of 8 years ago after a fierce encounter at the airport yesterday. Contrary to the kind of coolness that characterized their first encounter, the clash was a very heated one after both boxing legends have gotten into talks of a possible rematch in recent years.
I hope to see you here in Japan again with a big fight against
Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather, yeah. Yeah, I thought that you don't want me to say that. But I'm excited for that. Thank you for always supporting.
Where Manny had a great career, but
Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao began to exchange words when Pacquiao tried to approach Floyd on good terms, but Floyd wasn't having it as a result of Manny's response to the rematch he proposed.
And to tell you the truth, I was over the hill. And so when I fight guys, when I'm in my 30s and they're in their 30s, you know what they say?
What's that?
Oh, this guy all washed up. But I'm not washed up in my 30s. But when I fight, if I'm in my 30s and another guy in his,
He took issue with how Manny responded and subtly turned down the offer, which led to the snub and an eventual clash. It didn't last long as the pair didn't dwell on it so much. Neither was Manny Pacquiao willing to go all out into a proper feud or brawl with Floyd Mayweather. One fight that Pacquiao has craved for nearly a decade is a rematch with Floyd Mayweather after the duo battled it out in the fight of the century back in May 2015. It was a fight that had been years in the making, even if a lot of fans felt it had come several years too late. The event set a number of records commercially and saw Mayweather add to his undefeated record with a unanimous decision win. Mayweather retired in 2017 with a perfect 50-0 record. Pacquiao insists the rematch could still happen, but has told Seconds Out that it may have to be an exhibition. I can fight Floyd again. He wants an exhibition.
we talk about TBE, it's for a reason. Now, one thing about him, he's a hell of a fighter. You know, when we talk about Hall of Famer, he's a Hall of Famer. But nobody has the remedy on how to beat Floyd Mayweather. Don't let them trick you into getting your ass whooped again.
Pac-Man has revealed he is willing to do that, but only if his own condition is met. That there is an awarded winner, rather than the typical exhibition style of calling it a draw. I said, okay, I can fight an exhibition, but there has to be a judge's decision. Without doubts, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao could be set to rematch their famous 2015 fight that raked in $500 million, but there is one key factor left to be decided, as it all depends on a Japanese MMA promotion. Despite the pair officially calling time on their careers in 2017 and 2021, they continue to scrap it out in boxing rings around the world, in exhibition contests, and now they could be set to meet again at their ages of 47 for Mayweather and 45 for Pacquiao.
The best fighter out far probably was Manny Pacquiao, because of his movement.
But you made it look easy.
But he's a hell of a fighter, and I can see why he won so many fights, and I can see why he's going down as a Hall of Famer. It's just certain moves that he made. Boxing retired Manny. Manny didn't retire from boxing. There's a difference. So, of course, if I was Manny Pacquiao, would I be chasing Floyd Mayweather to do an exhibition to get a good payday? Absolutely. Absolutely I would.
I wouldn't be surprised if anything happens these days, so the possibility is still there. Rizin promoter Nobuyuki Sakakibara told a news source, "We still have a good relationship with Floyd, but he's not thinking of coming back to real competitive fights. I understand that there isn't any interest from his side in the rematch in a non-official bout, and Manny is interested, so it all comes down to the timing. And when everything aligns perfectly, I'm sure that a rematch will happen." The Filipino is contracted to Rizin, and the promotion previously had a relationship with his potential rival, who won 2 knockout victories against opponents when he worked for them too, making them a key player in a possible deal with an already established rapport.
Pacquiao obviously got power also.
Right.
You know, I've been in there with him.
Did you feel his power?
He's solid. He's solid.
Okay.
He's solid. Ain't nothing I ain't never felt before, but he's solid.
Right.
And he felt me too. That's why he wasn't quick to run in there.
Right.
So it's obvious we both felt we felt each other. At the end of the day, You know, it finally happened. He got cooked. Now they begging for a rematch. My thing is this: if you get it done right the first time, you got to do it again.
Problems. Many people thought that Pacquiao would give you a lot more trouble than what he did.
But not my UK fans. They believed it.
Yeah. How difficult was Manny Pacquiao?
One of the best fighters I ever faced. I see why he has accomplished so much in the sport of boxing. The angles that he used. But I'm so crafty. All I had to do is find one thing.
Pacquiao and his team have been discussing a rematch with Money Mayweather since 2023, but nothing has yet materialized. And as a result, Mayweather will fight John Gotti III on August 23rd instead. Meanwhile, Pacquiao will take on an ex-kickboxing champion, Rukia Ampo, in Tokyo. But a shot at a return to professional boxing could be on the horizon for the legendary fighter too, as the WBC is reported to have given him a chance to face Mario Barrios. Depending on the result and his performance in his upcoming fight on July 28th, we need to assess the market to see if his return would make sense, Sakakibara added. This is a single bout agreement, so if we were to have him back, we need to make sure there is a demand in the market.
Don't try the boxing like that.
Yeah, it's lazy, right? Just kind of...
When you do the shadow boxing like that, what is that for? Because you can apply that in habit. You become a habit. When you shadow boxing like...
Woo! Woo! The speed is still there. Woo!
If we can create momentum and anticipation together, since Manny himself is still wanting to have competitive fights, he's not thinking that this is his last fight. So if things turn out right, there is a good possibility where there could be more Manny Pacquiao fights in Rizin. For fans, a fighter's retirement is not necessarily their absence from the ring for good. Sometimes the need to return to the ring is to relive the feats of yesteryear, to feel the adrenaline, or even for economic reasons. It is a fact that is to the liking of the fans, regardless of whether it is a title fight or an exhibition. And lately the spotlight has been on Manny Pacquiao. Officially, he retired in September 2021 with the purpose of running for the presidential elections in his native Philippines, which he did not win.
So everybody got their own hustle, and everybody got their own drive and their hustle. How to get it, one thing I can do is respect it.
Well, you've been getting it for a long time. You're still getting it.
Yeah, last 27 years as a professional. Yeah.
Well, you're still getting it, obviously.
Although he held the position of senator, Sean Gibbons, the boxer's agent, commented a year ago to Boxing Scene about the possibility of seeing the return of Pac-Man to the ring because he still has a lot to fight for, despite being 46 years old. Time passed without much significance, but the alarms have sounded again. Recently, the media outlet ES News posted a video of the IBA Night of Champions in December 2024, where there was a celebration for Manny Pacquiao's career after he was elected as a member of the Boxing Hall of Fame, the only 8-division champion. Manny himself has previously mentioned that there are 2 fighters with whom he could fight, Ryan Garcia or Gervonta Davis, whom he would have liked to face in 2022. According to the Filipino's own words, the World Boxing Association lightweight champion has to fight for a few more years before he can be sure and return to the ring. When these 2 fighters met in 2023, the victory went to Gervonta Davis by knockout.
You got it at the exhibition you had a few months ago. Names matter. You were fighting Gotti. Was it the third, right? It was grandson?
Yes, John Gotti grandson.
Yes. Yeah. Crazy scene as always at a Floyd Mayweather event.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because people was like, I think from what I was hearing, a lot of people on social media.
However, it has been speculated that he will retire from boxing during the year. When Pac-Man was asked during the December gala if Tank would have a profile for the Hall of Fame, he surprisingly stated that he has many more fights ahead of him. He added, "We'll see. Then we'll see if it's next year his return to boxing." Under these statements, for Manny Pacquiao, it is Gervonta Davis who is the ideal profile in his plans to return to the ring. In March, Tank will fight Lamont Roach, and if he wins, Pac-Man's long-awaited return could be revealed or simply another illusion to see him back in action. Instead, Pacquiao could turn his attention to another star, after revealing that he would be open to a fight against Gervonta Davis, as well as continuing to chase a record-breaking welterweight world title shot against Mario Barrios. Manny Pacquiao is still looking to make a return to the ring.
This place is huge. It's, I mean, we've seen the clips on social media.
Chihuly.
Look at that. Yeah. I mean, we've definitely seen the clips on social media, but to be here in person, it is, wow. It's very nice. You are definitely living like a king.
I'm blessed. You know, Manny Pacquiao has to set up. You set up. What I do, I time him, box, touch him. Cause my reach is a 72, so touch him. Cause mainly he like to fight in the inside and throw a bunch of shots.
I will, Greg.
Yeah, so what I do is box, step back, watch him, check him with the hook, and then he turn back around, he gotta set up again. And why he said no.
Pacquiao was last in action in August 2021 when he lost a WBA welterweight title fight to Yordenis Ugas in Las Vegas. Despite now being 46 years old and it being over 3 years since he stepped through the ropes, Pac-Man has made it no secret that he still intends to compete once again. The Filipino fighting legend would, should he fight and beat Barrios, break a record he set back in 2019 to be the oldest world champion in the division. Now 45, there have been concerns that the fight shouldn't be sanctioned, but the World Boxing Council president, Mauricio Suleiman, backed the idea provided the 45-year-old could pass medical checks. Pacquiao's advisor Sean Gibbons recently said that the fight, which both sides have agreed they want, must happen this year. Over the next month or so, we'll either be able to make the fight or won't. It's very important to get a fight in by December. This is a very important time right now. We have a very short window. This could be the last year because Manny might run for office next year in the Philippines. In the meantime, Pacquiao returned to the ring in Japan for an exhibition against kickboxer Rukia Anpo. Granted, Anpo had a significant reach and height advantage, but even still, Pac-Man looked every bit his age over the course of the 3 rounds. Fans took to social media to beg him to reconsider the professional comeback after seeing how he fared, with one saying he looked 100 years old in the ring, and another saying that a world title shot at this stage was laughable. There were flashes of Pacquiao's skill in the bout, which ended in a draw as most exhibitions do, but he was being caught by Ampo much too often and drawn into more of a fight than he had perhaps prepared for. The performance was branded embarrassing by a viewer on social media, and the future Hall of Famer was, by many, urged to reconsider his future plans and stay retired. Post-fight, Pacquiao said Ampo was strong and fights well, even though he lacks experience, before qualifying it with "he's also way bigger than me." He admitted he had a lot to work on should the Barrios plans be realized. But it was way worse than he had imagined, and for boxing fans, Manny Pacquiao is creating the kind of fear that they had and still have for Mike Tyson while he is set to face Jake Paul. Perhaps Pacquiao believes there was some good in whatever he did in the ring, but it was an entirely different thing that fans saw. And from what fans saw, Manny Pacquiao's world title shot against Mario Barrios has possibly gone up in smoke after his exhibition bout with Rukia Ampo. Pacquiao faced Japanese kickboxer Ampo in a 3-round exhibition, and although there was no official winner, everyone knew the result. Pacquiao struggled to come to terms with the height and reach of the taller competitor and was picked off at will throughout. With the performance, the Filipinos' hopes of facing Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title could be over after calls immediately started for the legend to stay retired. In the first round, Pacquiao came out trying to force his authority on the novice boxer, but was made to pay after he ate a stiff jab followed by an uppercut. The veteran attempted to cut off the ring, but the left hand of Ampo kept the much smaller Pacquiao at bay. At the end of the first, Ampo turned his attacks downstairs, and a right to the body brought a smile from Pacquiao as he acknowledged the shot. Pacquiao came out for the second, determined to put right what had gone wrong in round 1, but it didn't go as planned. The former champion had success early with a flurry of shots, but it didn't last, and Ampo quickly pressed forward. Pacquiao seemed to fall for an amateur trick throughout the round. Ampo would start high and finish to the body, landing every time. The round finished with a frustrated Pacquiao waving Ampo on after he was unable to come to terms with landing on the taller man. Ampo came out for the third with a look of disbelief at how much he was landing on Pacquiao. The former kickboxer landed a big right hand that seemed to hurt Pacquiao and forced the veteran to hold. Ampo then wobbled Pacquiao again with a solid left hand, but the future Hall of Famer recovered well and finished the round swinging.
I went to knock him out, but I wasn't able to do that. I think I was able to show my boxing abilities for the full 3 rounds. It was just one instance where I went for a jab and he came back with a counter hook and it hit me, so my chin still hurts a little.
Although both fighters had their hands raised at the end of the contest, Pacquiao looked like a beaten man and was reminded why Father Time remains undefeated. His hopes of challenging Barrios are surely over, as a fight against the World Boxing Council champion would be dangerous. Manny Pacquiao, who compiled a August 2nd 62 record in his career, last competed against Yordenis Ugas, losing via unanimous decision on Aug 21, 2021. There were rumors Pacquiao might make a return to pro boxing. In the fight, Manny Pacquiao literally lost every round and made it way more messier than we'd thought. Even Ampo must be surprised at how much edge he had over the former world champion. But regardless of the awful performance he had, Manny doesn't seem to be relenting, not even with the kind of manager he has with him.
But if you stop your feet, he's gonna kill you. And so, when he comes in, I try to put my head down, go into him and, try to push him back. But, you just can't, beat him easily.
He has a manager who pushes him towards the ring, rather than far away from it. His manager recently spoke about Manny's sight at another world title to make his record even more unreachable than it was 5 years ago. To him, Manny was the best to do it, and he still has the ability to do it. Hopefully, he changes his mind after Manny Pacquiao's disaster class against Ampo. That's why he's boxing's only 8-time champion, Pacquiao advisor Sean Gibbons told Boxing Scene on Wednesday while updating negotiations to make a Pacquiao welterweight title bout against newly anointed WBC champion Mario Barrios. Manny loves the competition. He loves doing things people don't believe he can do.
So certain things we approve of and certain things we disapprove of. I'm not the jealous type. I'm the one to be respected type. That's it. That's a wrap.
As for Floyd Mayweather, his last exhibition fight was a match between him and John Gotti III, a rematch of their fight the previous year that ended up in a brawl between both men and their teams. The rematch was more peaceful, and despite the fact that Floyd Mayweather was clearly the better fighter, there were no scorecards for the exhibition. This is exactly what Floyd Mayweather wants against Manny Pacquiao. However, Pac-Man wants judges and scorecards. At least that gives him a better shot at winning.
And what do you tell him now? He's going to be the 47th president. He's a big boxing fan.
Of course, supporting him of his administration.
Floyd Mayweather is one of the biggest names in the sporting world. The boxing legend was undefeated across a career spanning more than 2 decades, with a record of 50-0. The American won 15 major championships throughout his illustrious career and fought many of the sport's biggest names, such as Manny Pacquiao, Saul Canelo Alvarez, and Ricky Hatton. In an interview with Fight Hype, the boxing legend was asked whether he had any regrets about his decision not to fight Margarito, to which he gave an honest response. "My career went the way it went," he said, "so if God wanted me to fight somebody, I would have fought whoever he wanted me to fight. God chose the fighters that he wanted me to fight. When you look back on my career, you have to say I beat more Hall of Famers than anyone else in the sport of boxing. And that's all for now." For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.